For several thousand beer lovers, Beerfest is a celebration. It's a time to get together with friends and try new things, revisit old favorites, and meet like-minded people. With 160 breweries plus restaurants and an expanded distillery district, as well as seminars and live music, there is definitely something for everyone. Joining me at Beerfest is my good friend and stand-up comedian Adam Ruby. Adam burst onto the scene in 2016 with a flurry and never stopped working his ass off. For him, Beerfest is a place to make people laugh, try new things, and let off some steam. Not altogether different from a night on stage performing comedy.
Buddy. Yeah, thanks for coming out. Sweet. Do you even remember your first beer? Like, not your first craft beer, your first beer.
Yeah, I do.
What was it?
Yeah, I do. I was in Scenic Acres. And I was at it was like a shitty beer, like, I want to say Lucky, but it was like just a crap, you're like a kid. You just buy what you can get.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that great.
No.
I didn't enjoy it.
No.
But I hammered like 2 or 3 of them back. And then I went to the cooler route for a bit.
I did. So I hated beer so much, I drank Blue Typhoons.
Oh.
Like, dude. Like,
yeah,
why,
I know. You gotta drink
terrible.
something.
Why would anyone drink beer?
Yeah.
And then Amaretto.
Oh, yeah, I never went that crazy.
Yeah.
I learned a Zambuca lesson the hard way. And I was like, that's enough of that stuff.
So do you remember your first craft beer? What was your first craft beer?
Oh, man, my first craft beer, I can't remember because I was just like, it was like some presumptuous, at the time it seemed very, I made this from home. And I was like, all right. But I think maybe Grizzly Paw was the first one that I ever was like, damn.
Oh, yeah?
There's some hope to these craft beers, you know what I mean? Yeah. I got like a table, like the pallet of them, you can get like a tray.
Yeah, you did the flight?
Yeah, the flight. Yeah, that was actually a good way to start out. And from there I was like, enjoyed that. I enjoyed a few of them, so. The raspberry one there is pretty good. For a fruity beer, right? I was like, I didn't think it'd be as good as it was.
Well, especially from a cooler background. You
and then I went to fruity
with...
beer, I guess. My comedy's really straight, though. As I advance towards you with my groin.
Yeah, what the fuck? What are you doing?
My God.
I have my hand on this trying to get away from you. So then, like, what do you drink now? Are you strictly craft beer, or do you, like, will you just take it if it's offered, or have you ever said, no thanks, I'll drink water?
No, I used to be, like, I'd go on, like, a weekly craft rotation where I'd just go in and either get the craziest box I seen that jumped out to me or just the price sometimes, because I was like, some of those microbrewery prices aren't bad at all.
Yeah.
And the beer kicks for the price, right? You know what I mean?
So are you an IPA guy then? Do you like IPA?
This hoppy one is really good. I love the hops. I like a good lager, though. You know what I mean? Like if I was just to like buy some random beer, like the Beer Canada Moosehead. Yeah. I like a Moosehead, but I know a lot of people are like, there's not a lot of flavor in it, but a Sapporo, right? Like just beers you can get anywhere. But the microbrewery stuff just tastes better, man. It tastes like they care a little bit more. I don't know what it is, but there's a bit of a flavor profile that's not in other ones. And the fruit beers are crazy from those microbreweries.
You're getting Saskatoon berries, you're getting lingonberries,
the blackberry.
Who does a blackberry?
Oh man,
I've had a couple blackberry porters.
Terrible at names. Yeah. But the blackberry one actually blew my mind a bit. It's a good one, man. I haven't had Saskatoon though. That'd probably be pretty good.
Who did Cold Garden did a Saskatoon a little while. I got to help make it. I was just hanging out with them one day, and they were mixing a bunch of Saskatoon berries. So I was like, Blake, dude, come on, let me get in there. I was smashing Saskatoon berries into a beer.
Man, there's some crazy stuff into those microbreweries. I heard one guy was putting squid ink into a beer to make it.
That was Cold Garden again.
Cold Garden?
Did someone else do that?
No, I don't know. I just seen it
on
pilot.
That was the pilot for the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yo, dude, that was sick then. Okay. Because I was like, when they smelt it and stuff, and it's like, it smells fishy. I'm like, yo, they blew this. And then they went like the pop machine, and I'm like, this looks stupid. He's like, backyard labbing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think this is gonna taste good at all. This looks like he's making meth. And sure enough, it comes out. It's like gnarly looking beer, man. And it looked like I don't know, you drink it like Hogwarts or something,
And it tasted like something you would drink at Hogwarts.
Did it taste good?
It was awesome, man. It had this weird salty.
See, I like the salt in beer.
Yeah. It was a Green Hags and Am scenario. It didn't taste black. it looked black.
The foam even kind of looked black, right?
Yeah, it was so gross looking, and I had to try it. I was directing that episode, and I snuck in.
That's why you like microbreweries, though, right? Because you're gonna get some stuff you might not get, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's the plus. At least I think.
I was on a shoot with a buddy. We were way up north, and it's my camera guy here actually. And he goes, "Do you want a beer?" And I'm like, "What do they got?" Budweiser. I got water. Yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Some of that stuff is like, it's just like recreational. That's like sports beer, you know, like Gatorade-ish. You just gotta hydrate and do that. But yeah, this is like actually got some spice to it, hey?
That night I asked her what's the secret to the brew. Said the water or the kind of grapes you use. She leaned in close in the front porch light. Said you never make the same batch twice.
Have you always done comedy? Like, were you always trying to make the room laugh?
Yeah, totally. Like, that's, since I was a little kid, I remember one time my teacher sent me out in the hall and she came out to yell at me an extra time. And I was like, hey, chill out. Like, in 5 minutes, it'll be recess and you'll be allowed to go for your cigarette. And I remember, like, all the teachers laughed, but she didn't. And I remember, like, this is powerful. There's some powerful shit here. It took me a while to unearth it, but yeah. I've always been a class clown. I've always liked joking around, taking life a little light.
You should.
You should, but I get pretty stressed out too.
Yeah, you
I get
pretty
ragey very quickly, yeah.
Do you use that in your comedy these days, or do you?
Yeah, it shows up all the time, right? So I have a few bits where I tap into some rage, and it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic to see the crowd like, oh, they agreeing with you, right? Like, oh, and I feel like my rage is justified, which scares my wife like even more, right? So yeah, but it's the way it goes. So, but yeah.
Are you like, do you yell? Like, are you yelling in your bit, or are you just talking about like stuff that pisses you off?
Oh yeah, and dude, the more the things aggravate me, the more bouncy I get, and like sometimes if I had a really good set, people are always like, man, that guy was on cocaine. So, and I never do coke, but that's how I know I did a good job.
I think your head would explode if you did coke.
Yeah, I think I'd die, man. My heart, I'm like a hummingbird as it is. My heart couldn't handle it.
How did you get into comedy? What got you on the stage?
I had a good buddy, man, Nathan Bergeau, and he was like, dude, if you don't do comedy, you're an idiot. If you don't do this, you're not fulfilling your destiny. And I always was like, dude, get away from me, man.
Yeah,
like,
that's heavy shit to lay on a person.
Like he plays guitar in a band and stuff. I'm like, not everyone wants to be in front of everybody, right?
Yeah.
And then I did it once, and I was like, I can't stop doing it, man. It was like a drug, like straight up drug. It's been fun as hell since, man. Like,
what was your first show? What was it?
The first show I went on just to no doubt, just do it, right? Just to be like, I did it once and get it off my bucket list. And went up and did my first show at Juliet's Castle, open mic, shout out to Dale Ward. And that's where I met Nav Galley, a guy I did comedy with, and fortunately Nav died of cancer. And but like that guy encouraged me, right? The minute I got off stage, he gave me a big hug and was like, you're a comedian. And I'm like, weird. And like,
after your first set.
Yeah, and then, like even there was another girl there, I can't remember her name, and she was like, how long have you been doing this for? I'm like, that was my first time. And she was like, fuck you. And I was like, awesome.
See, but the thing is, you've been doing comedy for as long as I've known you.
Well, and that's the thing,
You owned a room every time you're in it.
And that's it. Any party I go to is always like, time to try out some thoughts.
Did you? Yeah, because like, we would be downstairs, man, and someone would be like, dude, Rube's fucking just killing it upstairs. Yeah. And people would leave the basement to go upstairs and like listen to you talk in the kitchen.
Yeah. And I don't know, when I get on a roll, man, I even feel like I come out of my body and just sit back and watch and be like, weird. Because even I don't understand some of it, man. Like, it feels like, I always say like, it's like in the ether, right? Like, it's out there, and like, I can feel when it tunes in and it's locked in, but sometimes, I don't know, man, it's interesting.
The funniest shit I've ever said came through me, not out of me.
Yeah.
I didn't think it, I didn't say it.
You took part in it, you were like, whoa.
Well, that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I laughed as hard as everyone else in that room because I didn't see it coming either.
Exactly, and that's how good comedy should be. It should be natural, right? And it unites people. It brings everyone in together. It makes all ideas come together. That's the good thing about comedy that I like is people understand it's just ideas. It's just people sharing thoughts. Sometimes people get a little sour with it, but for the most part, it's really fun, man.
Every now and again, I'm at a party and then someone hands me a glass of red, and I drink what they pour. Lord knows I've tasted many more, but they never hit me quite the way she did.
And I normally don't drink hard alcohol or any of this stuff, but smell that. It actually smells like kind of interesting.
I like gin though. I think gin's fantastic.
It smells like a little bit of like raspberries, but a little bit of church. A little bit of church pew in here.
A little old lady?
Like a little old lady, a little bit of
perfume?
furnishing, like the shiny church pews, you know?
So have you ever had a show just bomb? Ooh. Have you had a show like how is it, by the way?
It's not like it feels a little hard. Like I feel like the minute I drank it, like this waft warm of devil air came out of me.
You're not
in a good way. In a good way. Like I feel warm.
That's good.
I definitely feel the alcohol in here.
You're not a hard liquor guy.
But you know what? I am because I'm not a hard liquor guy. You're right. But in this, it's actually not so bad.
Because this is local, so now we have local distilleries in Calgary.
Yeah.
Beerfest is doing distilleries. Like
we have a lot of alcohol coming out of Alberta, man.
It's kind of cool.
Forget the oil, guys. We got alcohol in Alberta, man. Let's get to work. What are you drinking over there?
I got a milkshake IPA, which is amazing. So what guys are doing now is they use lactose sugar, so milk sugar, because what the fucking happens is yeast doesn't eat milk sugar, doesn't eat lactose. So you get sugar still in your beer. So what you're drinking still has sugar in it. It hasn't been consumed by the yeast.
That's why it tastes so sweet and like ice creamy.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it, man.
That's very interesting. That was like that sour beer we had. That kind of tasted sugary too. You know what I mean?
So you've had some new beers. You haven't had sours before.
I've never had a sour beer in my life. I would never have ordered it in the bar because I'm like, it seems a little lady.
Yeah.
But then all the grief you guys have been giving me, all this fruit shit I've been drinking, I think the sour is the way to go, man. It's got a weird taste. It's a weird beer. It's a candied beer.
It's super weird. It's completely not like anything else. I got hooked. I didn't want anything if it wasn't a sour.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a sour, I didn't want to drink it for like 6 months.
I just can't believe it. It's bizarre. It tastes unique. You know what I mean? I like it. Sour's the one I think for me.
Nice.
This is actually not bad though. For like straight gin, try that because like it's not making you hit. It's not hurting you. They said it tastes a lot of juniper. I don't taste a lot of juniper in this. I taste a lot more berry.
There's a lot more berry than juniper.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't remember who you got that from?
Yeah, just that one over there.
Okay, well, we got footage of it. We got footage of it, so it's okay.
I can't really read it from here. Prairie Sentinels. It's like an X-Men blend or some shit.
Ooh,
I don't know. It's really good, though. It's actually not that bad. For straight, right? Like
for straight. No, I drink gin straight.
Okay, I don't. It makes me like it hits too hard, man.
Like Saskatchewan.
Have you ever had a bad show? Have you had your worst show?
Yeah, I have. I've had shows where other comics have blown it, where it's like, oh shit. And like I had a show last week where a guy got up on stage. He was up on stage for 2 minutes as the host. 2 minutes, he said, hey, my name's such and such. Turned to two girls in the audience and just belittled them. Yeah, F you guys, I'll pay your tickets, F you. Because they thought they were heckling him. And I'm like, it's, how do two people throw your whole set off, man?
He lost it.
Yeah, he lost it. So that was a bad show.
Yeah.
But it was good for me. I was the host. I pulled it out, but it was bad for him. But like, as far as bad shows, I wouldn't consider that a good one.
Yeah.
Normally they go off and everyone leaves feeling good, right?
Yeah.
No one left feeling good at that show, I don't think. Maybe at the end. Whoops.
What was your worst show? Okay, here. You know what? Have you ever had a show so bad you almost wanted to quit?
Oh yeah. I've had things I've done that made me want to quit. Where I've said stuff where I forgot a name of a comedian I'm bringing up on stage. Shit like that has made me want to quit. Sometimes driving in the car for a long ass time, right?
Yeah.
With other comedians that you're not quite, you don't mesh right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to quit. But as far as doing shows that sometimes you just know, you're like, oh, this audience does not like me. It hasn't happened so much, but when it does happen, it's kind of enjoyable. You're like, oh, I still get paid, right? But
I guess. Wait, they still pay you if you do a terrible show? Do you still get paid?
if you pre-agreed to have me out, right? But I've never really had that. I've never really had a show where it has made me want to like put it in. I've had shows that made me want to contemplate it, but nothing that's made me want to quit for sure.
So do you so when you're sitting at home writing material, do you write material? Like, what are you doing these days? Because when you first started, I remember chatting with you, you like were flying by the seat of your pants.
I was flying by the seat of my pants. And then I realized there's certain concepts and ways to go and writing styles to go. And then every day I try to write like a half hour in the morning.
Okay.
I try to just brainstorm of funny things. Even if it doesn't make sense, I just jot it down. And 90% of the time it's not funny, but every once in a while it's so funny to me, dude, that it has to become a bit, you know? And then you like see things like this is gonna work well as a bit. So
using that, what would you say to someone who's starting out as a comedian?
Practice, get up every chance you can get on the mic. Any show you think is gonna suck, any venue you think is gonna like not be good, do everything. Because you'll get time in all of that. Like a shitty show, you could get 7 minutes of material from a bad car ride show, weekend of shit, you know?
Yeah.
Bad promoting. There's a lot of funny things in there. But it's overall it's not as bad as the joys are definitely outweighs the sorrows. Let's just say that.
Actually, your story's really funny. So like, what do you think that 21-year-old Adam would think about you now?
Oh, dude, I say that every day to my wife. I'm like, dude, I'd be so... Like the other day, I was like, man, I'm stoked I'm not working on a weekend. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, if you would have told me that at 21, I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
And now it just like it feels like who I should have been my whole life. Do you know what I mean? Like I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't have no regrets. I don't ever go like, well, this isn't for me. It's 100% for me. Everything about it's for me. And the more I get into it, I'm like, oh yeah, I made the right choice. So I'm stoked on it, man. It's a fun job, man. It's a fun ass job.
Is it hard? Like, do you complain? Like, fuck, if only I didn't have to do such a stupid ass thing on a...
You know what, man? It's hard to complain because you get in front of people, right? And it's hard to complain in front of people. You get in front and they're there to see you and have a good day, right?
Yeah,
they're there to like lighten up their week and shit. So it's your job to make them not complain, right?
It's true.
So it takes... I was a big complainer before I started doing comedy. And now I look at it like these complaining moments can be very financially beneficial, if you know what I mean, right? So you got to learn to work it. So
like where do your best jokes come from these days? Like, is it when someone pisses you off in traffic? When someone like where do you find inspiration these days?
Dude, I love swearing in traffic. It's like I am so out of control. I'm a lunatic behind the wheel. Like I would love to go there, but people aren't ready for it. It's like World War II Adolf Hitler, kind of like you know, like it just. That's me driving, so that kind of rage is not, world's not ready for that.
Have you ever hit your head on a wheel? I've almost bit my wheel. I think I have bit my wheel.
I've taken a bite out of my wheel before. I've been so mad I bit the wheel of my car, man. And even my daughter sometimes like, remember when you got so mad you bit the wheel? I'm like, those are dark times in Daddy's days.
At 22 years old, she'll remember.
She still talks about it. I'm like, that must have been memorable. In not a good way, in an Oprah Winfrey down the road way, you know? So, fuck, man.
I thought I was the only one.
Some dark times. Driving is hard, man. But no, rage is good to get comedy out, right? Like, I like to talk about how come mothers think they're so much better parents than dads, right? Yeah, exactly. Like, the whole concept of mother bear, right? Like, if I pushed your kid, a lady can assault me and almost kill me in the realms of mother bear, right? But if a father ever did that, there's restraining orders, there's all sorts of implications for us being aggressive males, right? So I'd like to see a little bit more of that, you know? Like, you know, some old lady comes and checks your crib. Is the baby cute? Back away, ma'am. I don't want you looking, you know? Moms can do that.
Dads can't.
Dads can't.
Dads can't.
Dads can't.
Do you make jokes about fatherhood? Do you talk about that kind of stuff?
I'll make jokes about anything, dude.
Anything.
Anything. Like anything that makes me laugh. And that's the thing. I find that if it makes me laugh, that's my job is to show people what makes me laugh, not give them what I think might make them laugh. It's to show them my perspective of here's what makes me think this is funny, and explaining my side of why I think this is funny. That's my job as a comedian.
That's a huge distinction.
Yeah, it's to bring my angle on things, not pander to the audience, right? So
when did you figure that out?
Like relatively quick.
Oh yeah?
Audiences are smart and they don't like to be talked down to, they don't like to be pandered to. They want to hear your crazy idea. They want to go, but then they want to go, oh, okay, yes, that's actually really funny. Oh my God. Like, they want to come around to it. I like the best laughs are the ones that people are like, oh, like, you know, that groaner that turns into a deep chuckler.
You can't.
But you can't show your boss you're laughing. You got to hide it from other people. That dark laughter. That's where the good shit comes from, man. Like that dark beer, right? You got to go down in that barrel to get them good chuckles. Yeah. Anyways.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Let's get you filled up.
But the strangest thing to me, as far as I can see, is that we drank up all that love just one night, like Saskatchewan.